Right now at noon, Governor Walker calling on the legislature to return to the Capitol this month. We'll tell you why. Plus, Hurricane Florence has been downgraded to a Category 2 storm, but officials are still telling residents to evacuate. And President Trump is denying the death toll from hurricanes that hit Puerto Rico 1 year ago.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Thursday. We'll get to those stories in a bit, but first, let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield has a look at our first alert forecast. Florence down to a 2, but it's still a very powerful and dangerous storm.
Yes, absolutely, and that's the main message a lot of first responders want to get across, that just because the winds have weakened does not really mean the storm threats have weakened at all for the coastline of the United States, because this storm, as the winds have weakened, this storm has actually expanded in size. So that means more spots are going to get tropical storm force winds and more spots could get very heavy rain. Here is the updated path, making landfall close to a Category 1, Category 2, closer to late Friday and early Saturday. Then this thing swings up back into the northeast as it loses its tropical characteristics, but it still has them for quite some time, folks, and that means that at least about 15 to 20 inches of rain possible for portions of North and South Carolina, just depending on where this thing sets up and where the heaviest rain bands set up already. We're starting to get some of those outer rain bands move into coastal Carolina. Live look in Platteville, nothing like that on the Queen Bee Radio Skycam. In fact, we're seeing a lot of sunshine. Temperatures are in the mid 70s and low 80s across southern Wisconsin. Dew points in the 50s and 60s, so feeling about the same as yesterday at this time. And temperatures will rise into the low 80s for highs, and we'll start off tomorrow in the mid 50s. And when I come back in just a few minutes, we'll have another look at Florence, plus talk about some updated rain chances on the way for southern Wisconsin into next week in your first alert forecast.
All right, we'll check back, Dave. Thank you. Topping our news today, the Dane County District Attorney's Office has settled a federal lawsuit that claimed the district attorney, Ismail Ozan, harassed and retaliated against a former assistant district attorney. Former ADA Bob Jambois ran in a primary for district attorney against Ozan in 2006. Ozan won the race. After the race, Jambois filed a lawsuit indicating that he was assigned a crushing caseload of 31 trials in 2 months by Ozan, which Jambois said forced him to retire from the DA's office. The lawsuit was settled for $350,000. Governor Walker wants the legislature to return this month to consider a $100 million tax incentive bill to keep a Kimberly-Clark plant open in the Fox Valley. Walker told reporters today in Milwaukee that he's trying to get the necessary 17 votes to approve the proposal that stalled because there's not enough Republican support. The Assembly passed the bill in February, but it stalled in the Senate. Walker says the bill will need Democratic backers to pass. Kimberly-Clark says it'll keep one of its plants open if the legislature approves the incentive package. The papermaker has asked the legislature to vote on the bill by the end of the month. A gas leak at the Veterans Hospital in Madison has been located and resolved. A spokesperson from the William S. Middleton Memorial Veterans Hospital says there was a minor gas leak in Building 2, which houses the call center and a laundry facility this morning. The building was briefly evacuated, as well as some patients from the community living center next door. University of Madison police say crews responded to and rerouted traffic during the gas leak, and roads were being reopened just before 9:30 this morning. Janesville police arrested a man on his 4th operating while intoxicated charge for allegedly driving drunk with his 6-month-old child in the car. Police say 26-year-old Sydney Ivy was pulled over on Mineral Point Avenue near North Austin Road around 7:50 in the morning on Wednesday. According to police, Ivy initially lied about his identity to the responding officer and is also facing an obstruction charge. Police say Ivy failed field sobriety test and was arrested for his 4th OWI with a passenger less than 16 years of age. Ivy was taken to the Rock County Jail. Hurricane Florence has been downgraded, as we mentioned, from a Category 4 to a 2, with maximum sustained winds of 110 miles per hour. But federal officials warn it is still extremely dangerous. Forecasters warn that the storm has gotten wider and expected to bring days and days of torrential rain. Forecasters expect a storm surge of up to 15 feet in some areas. Florence could also dump up to 30 inches of rain or more, causing massive flooding. Police say those who chose to stay behind may be on their own.
I'm not going to put our personnel in harm's way. For some, especially for people that were told to evacuate, they failed to evacuate.
The storm is expected to cause massive power outages that could last for weeks. And while the government prepares for the impact of Hurricane Florence, President Trump is tweeting about Hurricane Maria, which hit Puerto Rico a year ago. This morning, the president tweeted, 3,000 people did not die in the two hurricanes that hit Puerto Rico. When I left the island after the storm had hit, they had anywhere from 6 to 18 deaths. Then, a long time later, they started to report really large numbers like 3,000. This was done by the Democrats in order to make me look as bad as possible.
Casualties mounted for a long time, so I have no reason to dispute those numbers.
FEMA admits it was unprepared for Maria's destruction, but says it has learned lessons that will help with future storms like Florence. The University of Wisconsin School of Medicine and Public Health launched a new partnership with Facebook to study the relationship between teens' use of technology and mental and social health. Officials say that the research is part of Facebook's $1 million commitment to work with others in the industry to explore the topic. The study plans to understand the relationship between digital technology and the well-being of youth. The project will start this fall. Well, there's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Today, we're combining two flavors to make one knockout dish that'll leave your mouth watering. Only guesses what it might be.
Lemon and lime.
Brown sugar and bacon.
Mint and raspberry.
When it comes to cooking, there are certain flavors that make the perfect couple. An obvious one is Kelly's favorite, peanut butter and chocolate. Another combo that's really popular right now is garlic and honey. Believe it or not, the bold taste of fresh garlic complements the mellow sweetness of honey. Today, we're going to show you how you can turn this combo into a mouth-watering main dish. We start by seasoning some flour with salt, pepper, ginger, and a touch of ground red pepper. Then we coat some chicken breasts that we've already flattened with the flour mixture before dipping them in beaten egg. Now we saute these sort of like we would if we were making chicken francais. While these cook, we combine some butter with a generous amount of honey, some soy sauce, and our minced garlic. Once the chicken is cooked through and golden, we drizzle it with our sweet and savory sauce. To get the recipe for our brand new Asian honey garlic chicken, all you have to do is visit our website. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found the perfect pairing way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, thank you, Howard. Thank you, Kelly. There's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, another sunny and warm summer day across the area. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield will have your first alert forecast when we come back. Well, inflation edges higher in August, and White Castle puts a meatless twist on a classic menu item. Diane King Hall has more in today's Money Watch report.
The cost of living in the U.S. ticked slightly higher in August. The Labor Department says consumer prices inched up 0.2%. Inflation has slowed over the past year. However, an escalating trade battle between the U.S. and China is expected to push costs higher. More than 1 million SUVs and pickup trucks are being recalled by General Motors. The car maker is issuing a recall for certain 2015 Chevy Silverados and GMC Sierra pickups and some Chevy Tahoe and Suburban SUVs. Other models under the recall are the 2015 Cadillac Escalade and GMC Yukon SUV. The problem, power-assisted steering can momentarily shut down, increasing the risk of a crash. The ride-hailing giant Uber is getting a new look. The company is dropping its single-letter logo and unveiling branding that features the word Uber in black and white letters. The new design is meant to be more recognizable. Uber's previous logo drew confusion as customers struggled to connect it with the company. White Castle is joining the health food bandwagon. The fast food chain is now serving Impossible Sliders, a plant-based burger that looks and smells like real meat. The burger is the creation of Silicon Valley-based startup Impossible Foods. The veggie sliders cost $1.99. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
Diane, thank you. At the noon hour, the Dow Industrial is up 138 points. The NASDAQ up 76. Let's check in now with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee on this Thursday. Welcome back.
Yeah, nice trip up to River Falls yesterday, but boy, talk about a striking difference in the terrain. You get up in northwest Wisconsin, they haven't seen rain for quite a little while. I thought if somebody tossed a match out the window, their cornfields would light up because they are really crispy up in northwest Wisconsin, quite different than what we've got down here. Yesterday, the World Ag Supply Demand Report was released, and it caught the market by surprise. Some big numbers that we're expecting all across the United States. They're not necessarily taking into account some of the severe weather that some states have witnessed. Wisconsin is one of those states looking at a big crop. We knew we were going to be down on corn acres this year, but we're still looking at the second largest corn crop on record. About 537 million bushel we're expecting to harvest. Average yield about 179 bushel to the acre on average. Soybeans this year is going to be a record breaker. About 7.25 million bushel more this year in Wisconsin soybeans than our previous record set back in 2016. Average yield on our Wisconsin soybeans expected to be 50 bushel to the acre. So we are looking at some big crops out there when it comes to Wisconsin's potential 2018 yield. The market had been fairly optimistic today. There was discussion yesterday by the Trump administration. They are going to re-engage with China. And this time around, as far as trade talks, a little bit higher level of cabinet members that are going to be involved in the process. So agriculture got a little excited about that yesterday. A lot of the excitement has waned today because of the big crop numbers. Dairy is also under some pressure. We're down about a dime for October, November, December milk right now. Barrel cheese dropped another penny-and-a-half today at 147. 40-pound block cheese down a penny at 162. Double A butter today, though, gained 3 3/4 cents back to 223.5 per pound as far as today's dairy markets are concerned. So everybody's still keeping an eye on what's going on potentially with discussions in Washington, D.C., both Canada and China, Mark. Me, I'm looking no farther than my sunglasses take me with all this gorgeous weather around our area.
Yeah, just keep it coming. All right,
Yeah,
we'll
indeed.
see you later. And Dave is here now with details on this gorgeous weather.
Yeah, fall starts next week. It's hard to believe because Mother Nature didn't really seem to get that memo just yet, because this late summer weather, this pleasant late summer weather, continues for southern Wisconsin. However, pleasant is the farthest thing from a lot of people's mind on the southeastern coast, with Florence about to make landfall over the next couple of days. The outer bands have already reached the shores of North Carolina. Right now, a Category 2 storm, so it has weakened a little bit compared to yesterday. But while it has weakened in wind strength, the storm has expanded. It's widened, if you will. So that means more areas could be dealing with at least tropical storm force winds and also very heavy rain. Storm surge, a major concern as well. Max wind at 105 miles per hour. So here is your Florence forecast. It makes landfall early Saturday morning is the current track, and in between a Category 1 and a Category 2 storm. It loses some of its luster as it hits land, as you might expect, and instead of curving down, it now has a curve to the north and east and heading closer to the northeast as it just becomes a regular old low pressure system. But a lot of rain with this. That goes without saying. Still expecting some portions of North Carolina, maybe even into South Carolina, to see 10 to 20 inches of rain. And some spots could see well above that. Just depends on where those localized downpours set up. We know a thing or two about localized downpours in southern Wisconsin, especially to start this month. We're already up to about 3 inches of rain, and average is just over 3 inches of rain. But the last 7 days or so, we really have not seen any rain at all, and I think that stretch is going to, well, stretch into early next week before we get any rain chances back to southern Wisconsin. We need a couple more days at least for some areas, especially with that river flooding, to continue to resolve itself. Doppler track showing quiet conditions across the area and really nothing to look at on the drought monitor. There are some pockets of some dry areas, but overall, I don't think we're going to see much color on the drought monitor for quite some time across Wisconsin. Now, a live look in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam showing these mostly sunny skies. Downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam, a similar story. Forecast high of 81, about 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. Right now, we're in the mid-70s and low 80s. Dew points a little bit noticeable is that humidity, but not too bad at 59 in Madison. Those southeast winds at about 8 to 15 miles per hour today. Future track showing pretty quiet conditions remaining over the next couple of days across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures for highs will be in the low 80s and for lows will dip into the 50s. So that we kind of press repeat on that forecast for the next 3 to 4 days or so. Some changes start to arrive as we head into the middle portions of next week. Some slight chances for showers and storms on Tuesday. Then better rain chances arrive as a cold front comes through on Wednesday and Thursday. And those temperatures get closer to fall-like numbers into the start of next weekend. But still, we have some summer days ahead of us. So if you're a fan of the warmer weather, you're going to be basking in it for at least the next 4 to 5 days or so.
All right, we will. Thank you, Dave. And there's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, Marissa DeGroot from the Dane County Humane Society is here with our pets of the week. We'll meet Maya and Callie, a pair of calico cats. We're missing one. Okay, we'll get them both out there when we come back.
News 3.
Marissa DeGroof from the Dane County Humane Society is here with our pets of the week, Mia and Callie. Marissa, welcome.
Hi.
So tell us about these two ladies.
Oh, these two lovely ladies. So you've got Callie over there. I've got Mia here. And while they look identical, they're actually not litter mates.
Not related at all.
Nope. So Callie is 6 years old, and Mia here is somewhere around maybe like 2.5 to 3 years old. So while they're not sisters, they are best friends.
But do they have to go together?
So they are not a bonded pair, so if you can't take both of them, they can go home by individually, but they get along so well that we are hoping to find a home for them where they could go home together.
It'd be hard to tell which one is which, though.
Exactly.
And they were surrendered.
Yep, they were surrendered. Unfortunately, their owner was moving and just not able to take these two lovely ladies with him, but they are just a blast. When you go in and meet them, Mia's going to be the one that will jump in your lap right away.
This one here?
Yep, Callie might take a little bit longer to warm up, but once she does, she is quite the snuggler too.
Oh, well, you said she's shy, but she's moving around.
Yep, she's ready to explore.
And most calicos are female.
Yep, they almost always are female. I think in the last few years I've been at the shelter, I've seen one male calico.
Just a genetic thing.
Yeah, but these girls have just a beautiful color because they're calicos, but it's kind of that muted color, which is really unique.
Yeah, they're just beautiful. Beautiful cat. Here, let's hold you. Is that going to work or not?
Yeah.
Let's hold you up
There
here.
we go,
There we go.
Callie.
Is that better? All right. Now, speaking of dogs,
Yep.
wait a minute.
Yep, for our dog lovers, though, we have Dogtoberfest coming up this Sunday, September 16th. That's 11 to 4 over at Capitol Brewery's Beer Garden. $10 for each human that comes in, but bring your pups and bring them in their costumes for that costume contest as well.
Costume, all sorts of fun things.
Oh, yeah, live music, beer, local food.
It is a blast, that is for sure. That is this Saturday. All right, last week.
Oh, last week we had Sadie, and Sadie still is available. This lady needs a great home. Come and meet her because she is such a sweetheart.
Yeah, she's a little shy.
A little bit shy, but she just needs somebody to kind of bring her into her house and let her warm up.
No other dogs, if I remember.
Yep, she is kind of the queen of the castle.
She's got those great ears. All right, let's get Callie and Mia a home here. They can go separately.
Yep.
But together would be ideal.
Yeah, if you have room for both, I'd say take them both.
Okay. All right, Marissa, thank you. Go to the website, giveshelter.org, for information on these two and everybody else. 838-0413, the number to call. And Dave Caulfield standing by. One final check of the forecast.
Yeah, from beautiful Catsmark to another beautiful day across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures in the low 80s for highs today. A little bit of cloud cover, but still plenty of sunshine and warm. Temperatures falling through the 70s into the 50s by the time we start tomorrow. And temperatures staying summer-like into the start of next week.
All right, good stretch, that's for sure. That's our time for now. We'll see you back here at 4. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.